right, so again, I have to start with the preamble, the exciting preamble. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order superseding certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30, Paragraph 18, and the Governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Norton Conservation Commission will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and/or parties with a right and/or requirement to attend this meeting can be found at the end of the agenda. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on the Norton Cable website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of the proceedings as soon as possible after this meeting. So this is the opening of Monday, November 9th, 6:30 p.m., now 6:34, Norton Conservation Commission meetings. We have as our initial item, request for determination of applicability, determination 1103 for Christian and Effect Development Corporation 0 Reservoir Street. The proposed project to establish a lawn and landscape within 100 foot of bordering vegetated wetlands. Do we have a representative of the applicant?
Yes, good evening, Commission. It's Cameron Larson with Environmental Consulting and Restoration. Also with me tonight is Craig Siganowski with RIM Engineering. I'll open up the presentation, give you an overview of the project, and if you have any questions pertaining to design or engineering, Craig will be available to answer those also.
So can you see the map on the screen yet?
I can see it, yes.
Yes. So,
Okay.
just in terms of orientation, because this says 0, the address is 0 Reservoir Street, yet it seems to be within the Grove, is that correct? Or maybe tell me where it is.
Yeah, well, it is 0. They haven't issued it a house number yet. It's across from, it's near Ledge Road and Acre Road. The home abutting to the north, I think, is 166 Reservoir Street, if that gives you any reference.
So they will issue a different house number then?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So again, I'm Cameron Larson with ECR, representing the applicant, Christian and Effect Development Corporation. The site itself is located off Reservoir Street. It's a undeveloped forested site as it stands now. It abuts the Norton Reservoir to the west. ECR completed a wetland delineation of the site. We located a bordering vegetated wetland along the western portion of the site, which is shown here in green. And then there's also a flood zone shown in blue that extends onto a portion of the site. The proposed project at hand right now is a single-family home construction project. The design keeps the entire structure itself, including the driveway and decking and all appurtenances, outside of the 100-foot buffer zone to the wetland. But why we're in front of you tonight is we are proposing to include a portion of the lawn and landscaped area into the 100-foot buffer. At the nearest point, what we're proposing is 75 feet from the wetland. Of course, it'll include, removing vegetation as part of the single-family home project, but ultimately establishing this area as a maintained lawn. We will utilize erosion controls during the construction of the project, We're also proposing a post and rail fence as a visual barrier along that 75-foot buffer. And then we did coordinate with Jennifer regarding a few comments she had. She requested we include some conservation signage, so we've done that. We've noted that on the plan. We'll basically be able to post that along the post and rail fence. We have shown a dewatering area in case any dewatering is required for trenching and things of that nature. We put that north of the proposed home, well outside the 100-foot buffer. We also did, for the record, send over a operation and maintenance manual for the roof recharge system, again outside of the 100-foot buffer zone. And then we did include a note for construction access to the site. Construction access will be utilize the proposed driveway area. If additional access is required, we'll be accessing just north of the home. There is an easement, I guess, that's partially cleared, and that'll kind of be used as a additional access if required. We will utilize some riprap stone to prevent any, trekking on and off the site. Besides that, if the commission has any questions, be happy to address those at this point.
All right. So any questions from members of the commission?
Mr. Larson, I just want to make sure that that light green line that's the 100. Oh, it's a little hard. Okay, I see. The light green line is 100-foot. What is the light green line?
Yeah, it is. It is the 100-foot.
That's correct.
So it's a relatively modest intrusion into the buffer zone area.
Thank you.
And it looks like there is, I assume, a willingness to put up a visual barrier at the extent of work.
Correct.
Any additional questions from members of the commission?
Have they indicated the path to the water?
Well,
Are you referring to some type of existing path on site or proposed?
No, the question at hand is, are they going to leave that area, the 75-foot of buffer zone and the area beyond it, truly untouched? In other words, is there an intent to have access to the water for a boat or a dock or anything else?
No, not at this time.
Because, of course, that kind of work would likely require an actual notice of intent.
Yes, of course. If the applicant's aware, any work inside the 100-foot buffer zone or any future work inside the 100-foot buffer zone will of course be in front of the commission again for an appropriate permit.
All right, any other questions from either commission members or members of the public on this?
One more question. Sorry. Was there something about dumping leaves, the abutters dumping leaves next to the property?
Yes, Jennifer did note that there were some existing leaf debris and lawn debris that apparently, or most likely, I guess, has been dumped from abutters or people within the area. We didn't address it in the application. We're happy to take a look and remove as much as we can. We don't want to be getting into disturbing any of that inner buffer, but if we can easily enough remove it by hand, we can certainly do that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Wasn't the trash and the stuff that was dumped? It was on the other side of the proposed house in the easement, correct? I don't think it was in the wetland buffer.
They actually had both.
Oh, both? Okay, never mind.
Yep.
All right, so I think if there are no further questions from anyone, we can consider closing the request for determination about applicability.
I'll make a
Motion to close the public hearing.
All right, we have a motion made by Ron and seconded by
Pearson.
All right. So roll call vote. All those in favor, Ron?
Aye.
Gene?
Aye.
Dan Pearson,
Aye.
Dan Doyle,
Aye.
and I'll throw in an aye, so the motion
Oh,
carried.
I'm also here, by the way. Please,
Oh,
I just,
Where are you? Oh, you're a phone.
well, I'm still logging in apparently according to my computer, so I had to call in.
Okay, so Lisa, you heard the proceedings then, and
Yep.
how do you
Aye.
vote? Okay, so and I assume there are no nays, so we're closed, and we can do a quick vote on assuming the project is carried out according to plan, whether a notice of intent has to be filed or not. We want to offer a motion on that?
I'll make a motion that we issue a -3 determination on number 1103.
I'll second it.
Made by Dan Doyle, seconded by Dan Pearson. Roll call vote. Ron?
Aye.
Gene? Aye. Dan Pearson?
Aye.
Dan Doyle?
Aye.
And Lisa?
Aye.
And I won't object to that, so I'll throw in an aye. All right, thank you, guys.
Great. Thank you very much, Commission.
All right, very good.
Thank you.
So our next item, item B, is notice of intent, file number 250-1068, Valentine Tool and Stamping, Baker Street. It's been continued since 10/19. The proposed project is to construct a single-family dwelling with subsurface sewage disposal system within 100 foot of bordering vegetated wetland. So what is the update on this project? And do we have a representative presenting it? I see a Chuck Valentine on the list, but you're muted. And do we have another representative besides, there we go.
Good evening. Brian Dunn was supposed to be involved with the meeting this evening, and I haven't had any correspondence with him, so I'm not really sure where he is, to be honest with you. I'm kind of a passive bystander to watch the proceedings.
Okay. So Jennifer, have you gotten any feedback as to where we are with?
I do. We have a revised plan, but it looks like I put the wrong one up. Nope, that's still the wrong one. Everything that you asked for at the last meeting to be revised on the plan has been done. So you're actually all set to close.
All right. So no additional discussion is really needed. The additional information has been submitted.
Correct.
All right. So any questions about this? And actually, can we just for a moment put up that older plan so I can get a visual as to what the project was in detail?
So it was a single family house
Okay.
off of, it's Baker Street. That's off of Freeman.
Okay.
And it's really just this part with the septic system and this grading that's in the buffer zone.
All right. And
The no disturbance zone, this notation was corrected. The filter mitt was not, does not extend into the road anymore. Trying to think of what else you asked for, but I did check the plans and they were corrected.
all right. So I guess we can consider a motion to close the public hearing for file number 250-1068.
Mr. Chairman, this is Pearson. I'll make a motion to close file 250-1068.
All right, motion made by Dan and seconded, Dan Pearson, seconded by Dan Doyle. Roll call vote. Ron?
Aye.
And Gene? Aye. Dan Pearson?
Aye.
Dan Doyle?
Aye.
And Lisa, you're at the bottom of the screen.
Aye.
All right. And I'll throw in an aye. So we can deal with the orders of condition at the end of the meeting?
You could, but it's just a boilerplate set of conditions.
So nothing unusual other than citing the plan?
Correct.
Well, do we have a motion?
Did you? Oh, I'm sorry, Jennifer. Did you say anything about the IVW there?
Yes,
Was that changed?
there is a
Okay.
finding for it. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, does that mean you want to make
I Well, I was going to say, while I'm at it, I'll make a motion to issue the order of conditions for 250-1068.
motion made by Lisa and seconded by?
Second.
Seconded by, looks like, Ron. I think you got it, right?
Yes.
All right. So to accept the orders of conditions boilerplate as submitted, file number 250-1068. Ron, how do you vote?
Aye.
Gene?
Aye.
Dan Pearson?
Aye.
Dan Doyle?
Aye.
And Lisa?
Aye.
And I'll throw in an aye as well. All right, very good. We will move on to item C,
Thank you.
which is file number 250-1060, Alice Dumaningo Realty Trust, 64 Elm Street. It's been continued for 2, 4, 5 meetings. A proposed project to repair and replace an existing septic system with associated grading. So, where are we with this project? It looks like Board of Health has been involved.
I think Jamie is on the call.
I am. I'm here. Good evening, everybody. Jamie from Zenith Consulting Engineers. We were actually scheduled to have the Board of Health meeting tonight, but Christian called and informed us that they're having technical difficulties. Their Zoom with the login ID that they sent out and posted, I guess the IT people couldn't get it functioning tonight.
All right, hang on just one second. So we're not seeing a plan, we're just seeing the list, if you could try.
Okay,
All right, go ahead.
thanks.
So they've asked for us to meet again next Monday with the Board of Health. I think the meeting with the Board of Health is kind of the last stance prior to receiving approval from the commission, hopefully. But again, we hope to have had that at 6 o'clock tonight. And unfortunately, we got pushed off for another week because of technical difficulties.
Well, the Board of Health's peer reviewer reviewed the project and said it meets Title V requirements.
Yes, it does.
And so, as far as I know, the Board of Health, would approve that. The presumption under Wetland Protection Act is if it meets Title V, then it should meet Wetland Protection Act. So typically, the septic system has to be a minimum of 50 feet from a wetland. So, Jamie, maybe you can explain what the difference is and if there's additional protection there, and we can go from there.
Sure. So with this plan we have 3 bottomless sand filters, which include advanced treatment for each bottomless sand filter. The property currently has 3 8-bedroom apartment buildings. And so what we've done is we've designed an individual septic system for each apartment building. Bottomless sand filters function off of extremely high treatment, which is done through the tanks in the Aranco treatment system, and then is sent to the bottomless sand filter for treatment and recharge into the ground. We do have at a minimum 51.7 from the edge of the proposed bottomless sand filter to the resource area. So under Title V, we meet that setback. We've also added in a post and rail fence with markers as asked by the agent and some modifications on some notes and things like that. Overall, I don't expect any changes from the Board of Health. We've already addressed their peer engineers' comments. We've gotten a letter of support from Aranco, the advanced treatment company. They've had their engineers go through to check the system, and we've received written approval today, which I can send to Jen. And again, I think this is the best fit for this site. Any type of other system that we looked at did start to push within 50 feet of the resource. And some of them, if we were to try to go conventional, would be right against the resource area.
So Jen, if I get the understanding of your statements, it seems like this is a foregone conclusion that this is going to be acceptable to the Wetland Protection Act, and we potentially can close tonight.
The plan as they proposed it and designed it does meet Wetland Protection Act, yes.
And just curiosity, exactly where is this site? I can't, I mean, it says 64 Elm Street, but I'm not familiar with 3 apartment buildings there. Where might that be?
Jen, we have a locust on the top right.
Yep.
Here we go.
This is Elm Street.
Exactly.
This is Reservoir. And this is Cross Street.
Oh, I
It's
think
over
I
on
know
the
where
left.
they are. It's right at that curve. That curve. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just somehow they blend into the background. I didn't realize there were a total of 3 buildings there.
It sits back a little bit.
All right.
Jennifer,
It
one
does.
point of clarification I had
All right.
in your notes.
Yep.
And in the order that you wrote up is that you said it's closer than 50 feet. And I think
That plan shows
Jamie
it's not.
Right, so we just have to change that.
Yep.
At some point. Okay, so it's definitely not closer than 50 feet. Is that correct?
Correct.
51.7, you said, Jamie?
From the edge of the bottomless sand filter to the wetland resource, that is correct. But we do have work going within the 50 foot.
So there's physical ground disturbance within the 50 feet, but the leaching portion of it
That is correct.
is beyond 50 feet. Okay, I got it. Okay.
So then we can consider, unless there are further comments, and consider a motion to close.
I'll make a motion to close notice of intent number 250-101060.
All right, Ron makes a motion, and I just have to say, I just got a little message that my internet is unstable, so I might disappear, but I'll log back in. But at any rate, the motion is seconded by
Second.
Lisa. Roll call vote. Ron?
Aye.
Gene?
Aye.
Dan Pearson?
Aye.
Dan Doyle?
Aye.
And Lisa?
Aye.
And I'll throw in an aye, so that closes the meeting, and then we have, on attachment A, do we want to do it now or after we complete the hearings? This is pretty straightforward? Jen?
That's more, I think, yes. Just a minute.
So,
So I would just say if we strike that second sentence in number 3. Or just say the presumption regarding Title V has been met because the system is located more than 50 feet.
Yes, yep.
okay.
Okay.
And any of the
If that's it, then I'll make a motion to issue.
All right, we have a motion made by Lisa to issue the order of conditions
With edit.
for, where are we here?
250-1060 as discussed.
Lost my page there. All right, 250-1060. So, again, all those in favor, roll call vote, starting with Ron.
Aye.
Gene?
Aye.
Dan Pearson?
Aye.
And Doyle?
Aye.
And Lisa?
Aye.
And I'll say an aye, so thank you for coming. Jamie?
So I have a motion by Lisa, but I didn't hear a second. Can you just remind me who was?
I'll second that.
Thanks.
Somehow.
De facto second.
Whatever. That's what happens when you lose your place.
Have you have a great night.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, and item D, request for amendment, file number 250-1032 for Tom Braconi, 213 Oak Street, a discussion. So, do we have, would Mr. McGuire, would you be the representative?
Yes, I would be. Good evening, everyone.
Well,
So my name is Tim McGuire. I'm once again here before you on behalf of our applicant, Tom Braconi of Tobar Construction. For the record, I'm a wetland scientist with Goddard Consulting. And since the last meeting, we've made some good progress on the project. We've turned in both the draft conservation restriction, the draft conservation restriction plan to the commission, and the wetland replication area has been constructed. We submitted a detailed report outlining the construction of that over the past week. We finished that on the date of the agreed deadline, which was Friday, November 7th. And now we are hoping to open up the discussion again on the revised site plan. And I believe I'm also joined by Craig Siganowski from RIM Engineering, if he's still on, in case anyone has any specific questions for the site plan. So just as a reminder and a recap from last week, we're editing the plan, the driveway portion of the plan, to have a retaining wall instead of the side slopes. It's going to be better for siltation, a better look, and it's going to result in 1,200 square feet less of wetland impacts to the already approved crossing. So if there are any questions from the members of the commission, I'd be happy to address them.
I have a question, and maybe it's just a misunderstanding on my part, but regarding the replication, it appears that you will be retaining 2 small clumps of trees. Is the idea that you would have been chopping them down or clearing them in the original plan, and then that's part of the replication?
Yes, that's correct. There were 2 or 3, I think, clumps of trees kind of growing in hummocks, as they do in the wetland. It was big red maples, a couple red oaks, a white pine, and we had a meeting with Jennifer on site, talking about the applicant, and she approved letting us leave them in place.
Okay.
There were several cleft sweet pepper bush plants left in those clumps as well.
So I understand. So technically speaking, it's not really a matter of replication. It's a matter of not really doing anything in the first place.
Well, the replication area was still planted with the same quantity of plants in accordance with the approved plan.
Right.
They were planted around those existing trees rather than cutting down these big, beautiful trees.
No. Okay.
So Dan, the replication went in around these trees.
I see. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
But is the replication isn't completed now, is that right? It's just the plan to do it is approved, or
no, the replication, the actual construction was completed on Friday. So all the plants are in, all the seed has been put down, the FAC wet mix. It's all set. It's looking pretty good out there.
All right.
And that's all been detailed in the report that we submitted to the commission last week.
Do we have a plan we can put up on this or not?
Yep, just give me a second here. Tim, you wouldn't happen to have that handy, would you? Or Craig?
Yeah, sure, I can do the...
Okay, hold on one second. I'm gonna, whoops. Okay, so you're a co-host now.
Okay, great. Did you want the new site plan shown or something from the replication area?
Well, I just need orientation because we're I can't recall where we were in the discussion when things kind of hinged on getting the replication area resolved. And as I recall, there was a large box culvert type bridge to be put in, and is that part of our discussion tonight or not?
Nope, it's already in.
Oh, it's in. Okay.
Yeah, they're just changing the walls. that go through the wetland to a 1-to-1 slope instead of 2-to-1.
Okay,
Because they're putting the block in instead of a slope.
and that is the specific amendment change that we are being asked to decide upon tonight?
Correct.
All right. I mean, the advantage of that is it reduces the amount of wetland incursion. Is that the thought of the applicant?
Yes.
Yes, that's correct. And it's better for runoff and siltation into the wetland as well.
Okay. Is that the only modification of the original order that is being requested?
Yes, that's correct.
I would just throw in, you might want to add a new date for the conservation restriction. So like Tim said, we got the draft on Friday. Haven't looked at it yet. So you may want to consider another date in the order for when, that will be finished.
Okay. What would be a reasonable time frame?
Are you asking that of me?
Well, yeah, you're part of it, sure.
Sure. So generally, these things take a few months. It's no quick work for conservation restriction. But when would you like it by?
Well,
your permit right now says you have to have it completed before before the building is occupied.
Right.
And so the draft was supposed to be in before you started construction, and it wasn't. So I just want to make sure that you have another milestone that you're going toward, so you reach it before you get to the end of the project, and you want to, have the building occupied, and the restriction isn't finished.
Sure, I understand, and we'll be cognizant of that deadline, anticipating approaching that date.
well, if we put a provisional deadline of March 1st and then revisit where you are, is that something reasonable?
That sounds reasonable, yes.
Well, when are they supposed to occupy this house?
Well, the house isn't constructed yet. We're still, I believe Tom Braconi's on if he wants to provide an update on the kind of scheduling of that. We wanted to clarify everything with the commission first, and we still have to construct one of the final culverts, and we had the replication area built, so now we're in
What do I do?
better standing.
Hi, Thomas Braconi here. Sorry.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they're not going to be occupying the house until sometime in June.
Okay.
Well, would it be reasonable to revisit the progress on the conservation restriction around March 1st?
I thought that was very fair listening in. I think that's excellent.
So we're going to have that day be June 1st?
Well, occupancy will to move in will probably be in June, thereabouts. So March would be excellent.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, so if those are the only two items with regard to the amended order, I think we can consider a vote, and that's, unless there's further discussion. And if there's no further discussion, somebody can offer a motion to accept the two items as amendments.
I'll make a motion to issue an amendment to order conditions number 250-1032.
Second.
All right, motion made by Lisa and seconded by Dan Pearson. So roll call vote. Those in favor, Ron?
Aye.
Gene?
Aye.
Dan Doyle?
Aye.
Dan Pearson?
Aye.
And Lisa?
Aye.
And I'll throw in an aye as well. All right,
Okay, and so just so everybody's clear, the draft amended order isn't drafted yet, but it will be for the next meeting, and that's when you can sign it. But it's okay that you voted first.
great.
Okay.
But it's a discrete item having to do with the approval of the replication area as constructed now, the revision of the 1-to-1 block wall, and the new date on the conservation restriction. All right, with that completed, we can move on to items E.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. For notice of intent file number 250-1059, AR Building Company concerning 195 Mansfield Avenue has been continued for 4 prior meetings. It has to do with a proposed project to install stormwater management associated with the construction of a 40B apartment building within 100 foot of bordering vegetated wetlands.
They requested a continuance to the next meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I will make a motion to continue file 250-1059 to the next conservation meeting.
Second.
Okay, and I'll just define the next meeting as, we don't have a...
23rd.
23rd, okay. Motion made by Dan and seconded by Dan Doyle. Dan Doyle, okay. Dan Pearson, Dan Doyle. All those in favor, roll call vote. Ron?
Aye.
Gene?
Aye.
Dan Pearson?
Aye.
Dan Doyle?
Aye.
Lisa?
Aye.
And I'll say aye. All right, thank you. And now, next item is notice of intent 250-1065 concerning Leonard Street, Phase 2 owner. And this is, looks like this is also on for continuation.
They requested a continuance to 11/23.
11/23.
Yep.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to continue file 250-1065 to the 11/23 meeting of the Conservation Commission.
Motion made by Dan Pearson and seconded by
Second.
Ron. Roll call. All those in favor? Ron?
Aye.
Gene?
Aye.
Dan Pearson?
Aye.
Dan Doyle?
Aye.
And Lisa?
Abstain.
All right, and I'll throw in an aye. So our next items are any action on item G?
No, we did our Zoom meeting with both consultants, both engineers, on August 18th, and we haven't heard anything from the applicant since.
All right, so this is an automatic continuation then?
Yeah, we didn't have to do, there's no action needed at this point. Under administrative approvals, we just have a couple of trees that are being removed between house number 24 and 26 Freeman Street. They're both hazard trees.
Okay. And a draft, we have a set of draft minutes from, I guess this last time. Anybody have any comments about those?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for October 19th, 2020.
I'll second.
All right, motion made by Ron, seconded by Lisa to approve the minutes of last meeting. Roll call, Ron?
Aye.
Gene?
Aye.
Dan Pearson?
Aye.
Dan Doyle?
Abstain.
Yes.
I wasn't here.
Right, and then Lisa? And I'll say an aye. Our next item is the new business.
We have the new member under there. So the selectmen have invited the candidates to their next meeting on Thursday, and they were asking if we had any recommendation.
Oh, there's more than one?
Yes.
Oh.
This means there will be a death match between them.
Who, do we have walls on either of them?
You do. You've had them in previous packets, but I have them here.
Okay, how many candidates are there?
3.
Wow.
Who appeared at the last meeting.
I tell you, being trapped in your house does something crazy to you, huh?
Too many things coming at me.
Okay. So the first one is
It's not up yet.
it's not up yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Good.
Yep.
Okay. Carrie Malloy Snyder. She is already the advocacy director for Neponset River Watershed Association. So she already knows what conservation commissions do and works with a number of residents and commissions, planners, engineers. She's already pretty efficient with stormwater management, water conservation, and climate change resiliency planning. So she's already got most of the lingo down and understands what we do.
That's pretty strong right there.
Yeah.
Next item.
The next person is Matthew. I spoke with him. He's just starting to get into local government and volunteering, and so didn't have any experience, just an interest in volunteering.
All right. Maybe.
And then Tama is a resident in town. Well, they're all residents, but she appeared at the last meeting as well to just introduce herself along with Carrie. And she has chemical environmental regulations work. And she works with the Forest Stewardship Council.
Oof, two very strong and very good to see enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Do they generally look to us to make a recommendation?
They usually ask what you think. I mean, they emailed today and I said they would pick the most qualified, but I will talk to them tonight about it and get back to you tomorrow.
well, I obviously, as far as knowing how the gears go around, it seems like Carrie Malloy Snyder is at the top, and then the other woman is also very, very strong. But I don't know. It's sort of, I mean, they all have very positive properties to them.
Yes.
That's why we're going to leave it to you, Jennifer.
All right, I will pass that along tomorrow. Thanks.
Well, I think we know who will just fit in seamlessly, but I mean, it's really different to have such a field to choose from.
Yeah, for a change.
Yes, that is nice.
All right, so old business, anything we need to talk about with this 36 Harvey Street? And
they just are not replying, so I can give it one more try, and then if not, you may see an enforcement order at the next meeting.
Okay. And anything else new in any of the others?
No, not really.
Was 36 Harvey Street something that was new from the last meeting, or?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
What kind of activity?
The neighbors are calling saying that they had removed trees in the buffer zone, and it looks like they've cut a new trail in the buffer zone, and the complaint was mostly about junk in the wetland, but it wasn't actually in the wetland. It's at the edge of the road.
So we have any other items to deal with?
Just a reminder about the evaluation. So if you didn't get the email, then you should have received it in the mail. Please send that back this week.
Jennifer, does that go to you or to Mike?
You can send it to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So send it to the conservation, because I was going to scan it and email it.
That works.
Okay.
Yep. The other thing is the Edith Reed conservation property. We put out a a survey on 2 possible sculptures. And over the weekend, I was notified by a couple of people that they are making donations. And so we don't actually have to choose. We can get both sculptures in.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very exciting. The parking lot is nearly finished, so if you haven't been there, take a drive by. A little bit more work to do for the end, before the end of this year, but it looks pretty spectacular.
excellent.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And that's it.
When can we make a nomination to rename Edith Reed to the Carlino Woods? Jennifer Jungle, the Carlino Woods. Come on, help us come up with something. Dan Pearson, you're the wordsmith.
Oh, the Peter Wiggin Memorial Land.
All right.
Dan
like
Pearson, come up with something snappy.
I think Dan went into.
Dan
He went into. He went at the speed of light to some other universe, I think.
Yeah, you're done. Okay, you're ready to adjourn.
We are.
Oh, when was the voting on the sculpture open till? Sorry.
It's open until the 16th.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, now.
It is moot now because we can do both, but that's okay. We got 61 people to answer it.
Yeah. Well, I just threw in my vote tonight too.
Oh, good. That's
So
okay.
which one was actually more popular?
Mother Nature.
Ah, okay, good.
I would. I mean, I know it's not going to come out like the picture, but I just can't. Well, whatever. I won't comment. I had a patient the other day who weighed 550 pounds, and I decided that the Smokey the Bear was just not the form that I wanted to see. All right.
All good.
So on that note, I think we're adjourned. Yes.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
All right. All in favor? So
Aye, all at once, in unison.
Aye.
1, 2, 3. Aye. All right. Very good.
Have a good night.
All right. Good night,
everyone. Good night.